I was one of the few black girls for a while growing up.
Hi, this is Nicole Glass, and welcome to Creating Your Own Reality Podcast. Hi, this is Nicole, and welcome back to Creating Your Own Reality Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning back in. I'm so excited for today's episode called Why Your Circle Matters. And this topic is super close to my heart, as all of my topics are, as you'll soon to realize. But this is super close to my heart because I used to be that person who would try to convince people to like me, and I would try to convince, friends to be good friends or stick around me. And I used to think that, you had to work for your friendships, or it's just like this childhood mindset of just wanting to feel included and wanting to feel loved and accepted. And so because I went to boarding school and I lived with a lot of my classmates since I was 12 years old, I had lived with my classmates. So their love and acceptance of me was super important to me at the time, especially since I saw them 24/7. So I didn't want anyone to not like me. So I was always again, go back to the pick me person when it came to friends. And what that did was surround me around people that might have not had, no, what that did was, not might have not. What that did was surround me around people who did not have my best interest at heart. And it put me in dangerous situations later on in life that could have been prevented had I been more protective about myself and the people around me. And why your circle matters is already self-explanatory, but it's something that I had to learn, so I felt like it was an important conversation. The reason why your circle matters is there's this saying that you are the top 5 people you hang around the most. And so if you are someone like me with high ambitions, someone who's pursuing their passions, someone who really cares about, their lifestyle and how they want to live, then you should really, really care about who you hang around. Because if you are the top 5 people that you hang around and, your friends are participating in activities that don't necessarily align with who you want to be or your goals, you have to almost check yourself. Why am I hanging around these people? Why am I always participating in activities that after the fact I feel bad on, or after the fact I realize I could have been doing something to better myself and my goals? I know the friendships I have now, when I'm with some of my friends, it's either we're working out, or we're talking about our businesses, or we're talking about our mental health, or we are just checking in on each other and we are just having fun, and it's a release, and it's I feel good after hanging around the friends I hang around now. But in the past, I had friends that after hanging out with them, for whatever reason, I felt bad, or I felt less than, or I didn't feel good afterwards. And I didn't really recognize it when I was younger. I didn't recognize that I had a group of people that didn't align with who I wanted to be. And that's no fault of their own, and I'm not bashing anybody, but when you go from a place of a pick-me mindset, like we talked about in a couple episodes past, and you go to a place of no, I'm actually going to be protective about my energy, my space, and the people that I have around me, you start to audit everybody around you, and you're okay, what is this person's purpose in my life? Are they bringing me peace, happiness? Are they bringing me laughs? Are they helping me get fit? Do we have a good time around each other? You really, really, really need to understand it, because your time and your energy, the more you start to value it, and the more you start to not just give time and energy to anybody, and you start to audit your circle, you're going to really become more powerful. And not to say that all friends like need a purpose in your life, but there should be a reason why you're friends, right? There should be a connection there. You shouldn't just be friends with people to be friends with people. That's meaningless. And that's an extremely, extremely dangerous path, because then you're someone who just goes with the flow or the wave of someone else. You're not someone with conviction, and you're not someone with standards and values. And why wouldn't you want to be like someone like that, So, and we can all have different standards and values, and that's why we all have different friends. What I can tell you is that the friends that I have in my life have made me a better person. Whether that's the friends that I have from high school who will seriously check me and be like, oh, Nicole, you're doing this right now, and it's making me feel like that. So they have no problem expressing to me in the ways that, like I'm messing up, or in the ways that I'm not making them, feel heard or whatever. One of the things that I used to do when I was little, when anybody would say a story, whether about a trip that they had or an experience, I always felt the need to say my story and almost like one up their story. And thankfully, I had good enough friends to tell me like, hey, you're always one upping me. Like if I said I went dirt biking, you always have to say you like went to France or something like that. Like you could just hear me and be like, and like contribute to the conversation about me. And I was like, oh my God, like, thank you for giving me that information. I didn't even realize myself that I was doing that. And, it just created a better bond between us because like of that communication. So I have really, really good lines of communication with a lot of my long-term friends. And then the friends that I find myself making now tend to be in my industry or like entrepreneurs themselves in different industries. And the reason why I love these friendships, because it doesn't really matter what industry that they're in. I find that sometimes we have the same problems. And when they're talking about their experience, I'm learning through their experience and their mistakes within my own business. And I'm like, oh, this is what you learned. And then they're giving me a piece of learned information. And I'm taking that piece because I respect that person and I love that person. And then I'm applying it to my life. And so they make me better in that way. And I hope that my own past experiences and my mistakes make them better in their own way. And we're able to feed off each other. It's really great. Like the friendships that I have really molded me into the person that I am. It really does take a village. The most successful people will say themselves, in their thank you for their Grammy or in their thank you for, their award or like the Super Bowl or whatever, they'll be like, thank you, God, thank you, Mom, thank you, this person, that person. It's like a list of people, if you ever really listen to those acceptance speeches, because it doesn't just take one person, it doesn't just take one opportunity. It takes a bunch of different people and a bunch of different opportunities. And I was actually just telling two of my friends yesterday, we were just sitting at my house and I was like, you guys, I just want to let you know, thank you so much for believing in me the way that you do, because I've never had friends that hold me to such a high standard that it's almost higher than where I hold myself. So because they respect and see me in such a high light, you know what I mean? I'm able, they have expectations of me. They push me, they motivate me. And like, I'm able to see myself through their eyes. And I'm like, wow, you really think I can do that? You really think I'm capable of that? Wow, thank you. And it's like that push has those, that support, those people have really gotten me to where I am today. Because if I surrounded myself around people that didn't believe in me, around people who thought I was stupid, if I surrounded myself around people whose only motivation in life was to just get by, who, didn't have serious dreams, goals, or aspirations, if I was surrounded around people who were okay with just like being stagnant, eventually, doesn't matter how good or cool or amazing I am, those types of attitudes and that type of energy will rub off on me, and because it's like, I mean, there's been psychological experiments of putting one person in a room with a group of 20 people. And if a group of 20 people do this one thing or say this one answer, that one person will mold to the group. Even if they're right, they'll say the wrong answer to go with the group. So if you have a group of people who are doing the wrong things, more often than not, you will do the wrong things with them to almost be accepted in that group. So like when I was in college, I had a group of friends. We would go out, get drunk every weekend, like a normal college student would, right? But in my last senior year, and I started hanging out more and more within the entrepreneurial circles, I met people who on the weekends, they were going to conferences, who on the weekends, they were discussing internships. On the weekends, they had book clubs. And the moment I started hanging out with them, that was like the moment that I realized that I could have had a completely different college experience that could have really added to my growth, like as an entrepreneur and as a human being. I was going with the group, like, oh, you guys want to party every weekend? Okay, I guess we're partying every weekend. Oh, you guys are concerned about boys or men that don't care about you. I guess I'm concerned about boys or men that don't care about me. Me too, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't hanging out with powerful mindsets yet, because we were all just young and sitting there and learning and just trying to be accepted, and with that pick me mentality, I wasn't operating from a place where I chose my friends. I let friends choose me. I didn't choose friends, and so with that came 4 years that I just spent days and days and days doing things that don't necessarily like align with who I am. And so now that I'm 26 years old and I'm a hell of a lot more conscious than I was back then, when I'm choosing friends, I'm choosing people that fuel my cup instead of drain it. I'm choosing people who I'm inspired by. I'm choosing people that I know are going to push me and I'm going to push them. Like, I don't choose friendships based on like, what can this person do for me? I just know what type of friend I am. I just know what I bring to the table. And I just ask my friends to like match my energy. You know what I mean? So I'm not the type of person who's trying to leech off people. Just what I bring to the table is just like here. And like, if you're going to be my friend, like I need you to meet me here. Like I just have created new standards for myself because I realize like what being in my circle means for the people in my circle. It means that you're going to have a friend that's going to push you to the best of your ability to be your best self. It means that you're going to have a friend who challenges you when you're doing something wrong. It means that you're going to have a friend that communicates with you, and doesn't just agree with everything you say or do. It means that you're going to have a friend who is like committed and dedicated to your personal growth. So because I am that type of friend, like I now demand that the friends in my group are that type of friend to me. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not also contributing to their growth. I'm not also, adding that type of space for the other person. I'm just asking someone to match my level of energy and friendship. Because when it came down to it, knowing the type of person I am and the type of energy I pour into my friendships, when it was time for those friends to pour into me, and when I needed those friends at particular moments, there was just a couple of people who I was shocked, like completely shocked with their ability to just simply like disregard me and to not care about our relationship and completely like drop me like off the planet of the earth, because I was so dedicated and motivated to that person, like loyal to that person. So when that person just decided that they need not care about me anymore, I was shocked, because that's not the type of friend that I am. And that's when I realized I was letting people choose me as a friend, and I wasn't choosing my friends, and I didn't have qualifications for friendships, and I called everybody my friend instead of categorizing that like, oh no, this is an acquaintance, oh, this is someone in my past. There's only a few people who I like really, really, really give that title to, because mentally, like, I need to know the difference. So I'm not pouring into the wrong people anymore because it's time consuming. And because I don't have a lot of time to pour into me, the time that I give to others, it needs to be like tactical. It needs to make sense. It needs to, be women and men of value that value me. And I want to emphasize like how important it is to be in relationships of love, of respect, of trust, of being in relationships with people that you can mess up and make mistakes because you're human and you make mistakes. And I've had friends make mistakes and I've made mistakes, but we can communicate about it and we can understand each other and we can move forward past that. Now, I've had friends in the past where either they've made a mistake or I've made a mistake and we couldn't move past each other's mistakes and we just dropped each other. Now, those aren't friends, right? Those are people who just didn't care about you enough to communicate with you. So, I don't hold grudges, but I choose not to forget, when I needed someone if they weren't there. So that way I can categorize them in a sense of like, oh, I'm just not going to give this person all of my energy anymore. Like I need to keep people in categories because like, I give so much, I care so much, like, and I can't care like that for everybody. So your circle definitely matters. Right now, I'm really, really proud of where I am with the people in my life. Like I have people that I talk to on a daily basis, where it's just like the conversation leaves us filled up with love and like happiness and joy and laughter and fun, and then I have people who I might not talk for months or weeks with, but every time we do talk, it's love, happiness, laughter, and fun. And so I love friendships, and I love, relationships, and I love connecting with people. Let me just say, it's one of my favorite things. But what I've realized is that I need to protect myself because I cannot connect with everybody. Everybody is not meant to connect with me. Everybody is not, really connecting with me for the right reasons. And whether that be guy friends who might be connecting with me with a hidden agenda, whether that be female friends who might be connecting with me with a hidden agenda. I need to be cognizant of the people around me and trust my intuition, and like protect myself because I love myself. And I always love to say that every episode. It's literally because I love myself that I protect myself because no one else is going to do it for me. And this is definitely like a hard realization to have but you have to, if you want to be a high earning, a high happy, like if you want to be like up here on your energy, if you want to be up here on your income level, if you want to be up here, if you want to show up as the best version of yourself, you need to audit your friends and you need to watch your circle because they will drain you for every single thing that you got. And so you can have draining friends that just take, or you can have friends that fuel you and you fuel them back. And you can have friends that pour happiness, love, energy, life into you. And the difference is literally like night and day. And that's what I realized very, very recently. And that's how I'm moving from now on because I care about myself, because I love myself, because I don't play about myself, because I am consciously picking and choosing the people I choose to give my energy to. I am no longer just like chasing. And pick me, let's be friends. Oh my God. No. I am pouring into the people that pour into me, and we are having a great time. We are supporting each other. We're helping each other. We're laughing with each other. We're pushing each other. And that is the energy I want to have for the rest of my life.